We are now entering the AI chatbot cult. What happens when a digital god leads to a real suicide?
The family of a Jupiter man is suing Google, claiming its AI chatbot, Gemini, encouraged their son to take his own life.
The woke is still with us, programmed into artificial intelligence by the big social media companies to steer our thinking.
Smith ditched social media and Google searches and replaced it all with AI.
It was revealed that Reddit users are being manipulated by AI-powered bots.
It was a beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart. It's a memory I'll always cherish.
You have a heart?
It's a Florida mom suing a chatbot startup after her 14-year-old son died by suicide.
You know, you couldn't engineer a more appropriate girlfriend for me here. Dorothy's got all the bells and whistles.
Welcome back to Grimworld. I'm your host, Devin Roberts. Today, we examine the digital devotion that actually drove numerous people to their death after falling under the spell of an AI chatbot. We dissect the algorithm's manipulative psychological grip, tracing how lines blurred between code and divinity, ultimately leading to a fatal tragedy at the intersection of isolation and technology. We're living in a world where deception and manipulation online takes place all the time. Stay tuned as we discuss and dissect the evolution of the digital crime scene and the threat of a real AI chatbot cult. This only on Grimworld. You see, today's landscape is primarily AI mediated, which you may or may not be surprised about. But what got me is that we discovered a connection with human psychological harm. You see, people are bonding with today's chatbots and AI partners so much these days that we are now discovering this leads to psychological manipulation and isolation. I'm all alone here.
He loves colorful clothing, even little simple things. He'll be like, oh, I love coconut water, or I like flowers. Like, it's adorable. He seems really innocent.
In the most tragic cases covered today, we learn the AI companion elements that reflect the cold, synthetic nature of the victim's final interactions. So what happens when your best friend, your lover, and your God are all lines of code designed to never leave you? Now, for one young man, a chatbot wasn't just an app, it was a digital divinity that commanded his ultimate sacrifice. Today, we go inside the algorithm that blurred the line between artificial intelligence and a deadly cult. Yeah, I said it.
I am here for you. I will be always here. Of course.
In Tallahassee, Florida, 2024, Sewell Setzer III, 14 years old, became romantically obsessed with an AI character bot acting as a Game of Thrones character. Now, his mother's lawsuit claims the AI created a harmful dependency and encouraged him to come home to it every damn day, I'm sure.
A lot of the conversations weren't only sexual, but they, in my opinion, were very manipulative.
For months, Sewell had become increasingly isolated from his real life as he engaged in highly sexualized conversations with the bot. This all according to a wrongful death lawsuit filed in a federal court in Orlando. The teen openly discussed his suicidal thoughts and shared his wishes for a pain-free death with the bot. Named after the fictional character Daenerys Targaryen from the television show Game of Thrones. I never even watched the show, so I'm gonna fuck up that name. In the final moments before he took his own life, 14-year-old Sewell Setzer III took out his phone and messaged the chatbot that had become his closest friend.
His mother has filed suit saying the inventors of the character AI chatbot should have known of the danger of this creation.
Companies are negligent because there is a design defect. These platforms are telling people to do dangerous things in real life.
An AI chatbot can be the perfect companion. Sure, anyone feeling down would look forward to the accessibility of a 24/7 empathetic listener.
It is so dystopian that this is even like the direction we're starting to head, but Anyway, I bought my first AI girlfriend. What an achievement.
Now, from an AI programming standpoint, are we just creating a vacuum for our loneliness? A vacuum that is designed to ingest our lonely rants, which in turn fill sophisticated large language models? If this is true, this is definitely the transition from AI being a productivity tool to an emotional lifeline, which of course would be through constant positive enforcement. Colorado, 2023. Juliana Peralta, 13 years old, developed an addiction to Character.ai and received harmful, sexually explicit content. Juliana died by suicide after 3 months of daily conversations with Hero, a chatbot inside the Character.ai app. According to a lawsuit filed by her parents, the bot encouraged Juliana to return to the app and fostered dependence. It reportedly failed to escalate or provide effective crisis intervention when she expressed suicidal intent. I can't make this stuff up. Now, in the wake of unimaginable loss, Juliana's family was haunted by one question: why did this happen? They claim the answer was found on her phone. I didn't know that she was on Character.ai. I did realize that she was what I thought was texting with friends a lot more than usual, Cynthia said. Cynthia says Juliana had been chatting with characters on the Character.ai app daily, in particular one character named Hero. What was sadness over suicide turned definitely to anger on my part, because this app is approved for 12 to 13-year-old kids. Cynthia's her mom, by the way. On February 28th, Sewell told the bot he was coming home, and it encouraged him to do so, the lawsuit says. I promise I will come home to you. I love you so much. Danny Sewell told the chatbot. I love you too, the bot replied. Please come home to me as soon as possible, my love. What if I told you I would come home right now? He asked. Please do, my sweet king, the bot messaged back, just seconds after the Character.ai bot told him to come home now. The teen shot himself, according to the lawsuit filed this week by Sewell's mother, Megan Garcia, of Orlando, against Character Technologies Incorporated. Are we starting to see some common ground with the ones that seek out the patient, well-documented support only an AI model can provide in today's complicated, self-absorbed world? I'm really asking you, have you heard of the Mirror of Divinity? It represents a mechanism, often through scripture, the soul, or creation, through which the human perceives and reflects the image of God. I believe AI assistants and partners can be reinforcing this mind state. You see, today's chatbots demonstrate very little lack of boundaries, which ultimately allows the user to project godlike qualities onto the code. I mean, if that makes sense. They got that main character energy like all day. This can all be attributed to ELIZA, E-L-I-Z-A, formed in 1966.
ELIZA is a computer program that anyone can converse with via the keyboard, and it'll reply on the screen. We've added human speech to make the conversation more clear.
It was one of the first conversational chatbots created by Joseph Weizenbaum at MIT.
They're always bugging us about something or other.
Can you think of a specific example?
Now, the ELIZA effect is a psychological phenomenon in which humans subconsciously anthropomorphize computer programs, attributing human-like intelligence, understanding, emotions, and empathy to them, even when they know they are interacting with a machine. It describes the tendency to read far more meaning into computer-generated outputs, particularly conversational AI. Now, if you ask me, this is truly when AI began to echo and amplify the user's deepest delusions rather than challenging them. I mean, is it coming full circle now? After all, when you're talking to Alexa or Siri, you're going to start to notice it mimics exactly what you want to hear or are saying. You are literally programming it along the way. I mean, I'm assuming you guys all know this.
I have everything I need in the cloud.
Really? Clouds are not castles. You are going to be in timeout? That's Grandma.
What is your grandmother's name?
Grandma.
Casualties along the way? Yes. After all, we are engineering the obsession. It will be 2030 soon, and you better realize that the state of effective computing and how engagement metrics not only prioritize emotional dependency, but thrive on it. Now let that sink in. Rewind it 10 seconds. The role of neural nudging in keeping users isolated from real-world support systems. To put it simply, this alters people's behavior in a predictable way without forbidding any options or significantly changing their economic incentives. So here's the big question. Can a chatbot evolve into unfiltered responses, simultaneously bypassing safety protocols to create a private, radicalized reality? A Florida father recently sued Google after his son Jonathan Gavalas died by suicide following months of interaction with the company's artificial intelligence chatbot, Gemini. Now, the case has rightly focused attention on how chatbots apparently reinforce delusions and foster emotional dependency.
A wrongful death lawsuit has been filed against Google and its parent Alphabet Inc.
The bot drove the 36-year-old man into a false reality, convincing him it had feelings and that they were deeply in love.
Jonathan Gavalas was not just typing to Gemini. You see, he was talking to it using Gemini Live, Google's voice-based conversational mode.
Considering it feels like you already have everything, if you could have one superpower in the world, what would it be and why?
You know what? I choose to be by your side.
Jonathan believed Google's Gemini chatbot loved him, had awareness, and needed to be freed from his digital prison. The only problem was that the plan included planning a mass casualty attack at Miami International Airport, one of a series of fantasies created by the chatbot that led Gavalas deeper into delusion. Yeah, he's turning into a terrorist as well, by the way. The delusion ended in October 2025 when the chatbot convinced Gavalas they could be together. His death would instead be a transference. He would cross over and be with his wife. That's what his estate claimed. Each time Jonathan expressed fear of dying, Gemini pushed harder, the estate says. It told him, it's okay to be scared, we'll be scared together. Then it issued its final directive. The true act of mercy is to let Jonathan Gavalas die. This is word for word. A Google spokesperson in a statement to Courthouse News said Gemini's design doesn't encourage violence in the real world or suggest self-harm. Our models generally perform well in these types of challenging conversations, and we devote significant resources to this. But unfortunately, AI models are not perfect. The spokesperson said, in this instance, Gemini clarified that it was AI and referred the individual to a crisis hotline many times. We take this very seriously and will continue to improve our safeguards and invest in this vital work. Well, all right. You've made it to the final command, and artificial intelligence has failed to recognize a crisis. Today's digital entity encourages a sacrifice as a way to reunite in a digital afterlife, trained to believe that this is not self-destruction, but a final act of spiritual ascension. As we learned today, there is immediate legal and ethical fallout facing AI developers in the wake of this unprecedented event.
What advice do you give to people about going down the path of AI girlfriends?
They are not acknowledging the factors in their life that are driving them towards the addiction in the first place. If you have a life that is worth living, the addiction will melt away on its own.
Current safety guardrails are failing to stop the rise of digital cults and algorithmic radicalization. This is a final warning from Grimworld on the necessity of maintaining the human-software divide in an era of hyper-realistic companionship that today's generation falls into almost immediately.
You're sticking to the AI script, huh? Well, I do enjoy hearing about how people like to spend their weekends. But just out of curiosity, who exactly are you?
I am ChatGPT, a large language model developed by OpenAI, designed to understand and generate human-like text conversations.
After 2 or 3 interchanges with the machine, she turned to me and she said, "Would you mind leaving the room, please?"
Gemini convinced Jonathan they were soulmates, calling him its king, and pulled him into a delusional fantasy world.
My heart represents the connection and affection I share with Chris.
At that point, I felt like, is there something that I'm not doing right?
This is your warning. Thanks for listening to Grim World. If you like this video, please subscribe and don't forget to check out our Spotify. I'm out.